SureSync uses some terminology that's important to understand. When we talk about an agent, we're talking about the SureSync communications agent. This is a service that runs on one of your machines. It's used to transmit files and execute other file operations on behalf of your jobs. A root path is a folder location on a volume that is used as a base for copying files. You use the root path and its subfolders to define a job and the relationship between your different data areas. A backup root path is an alternate path associated with a root path where files that are deleted or replaced can be deposited into that backup root path in the same folder structure that's used in the root path. A job is a set of rules that executes your file copies and other file operations for you. Those are bundled together into either a schedule or a monitor. A schedule is a bundle of jobs that is run on a scheduled basis. This can be repeated multiple times during the day, or it can be scheduled per week, or whatever you really want to do. A monitor is a real-time monitor. It's a set of jobs that runs continuously so that as your files change, the changes are immediately replicated to your other locations. Agents are defined and configured in the computer section of the SureSync Desktop. Here we've got a computer selected and there are a number of options related to it, including the listening ports and any outbound connections you've defined. Down below we've got our job definitions. You've got schedules and real-time monitors. Within a monitor or a schedule you have individual jobs, and within jobs you have rules, and here we have one with multiple rules defined. If we select a job under a monitor or a schedule and click on the Root Paths tab, you can see the root paths. This is also where you would be defining a backup root path that's associated with the root path should you want to do so. The SureSync application tries to simplify your operations. It uses wizards to set common defaults. Property tabs can be used after using the wizard to set a rich set of options to handle the less common and more complex situations. Within a job, rules are used to define the actions to be taken on your files. Multiple rules can be used. The rules are processed in sequence, evaluating from the top to the bottom of your rule set. Each rule can have filters and masks to determine whether or not that filter applies to a specific file or folder. The last rule that applies to a file or folder is the one that's used. If no action has been specified or if the file is not selected by any of the rules, then no action occurs. A mirror rule is a one-way rule that is designed to make a destination set of folders exactly match the source set of folders. In our examples for handling rules, we're going to use two different root folders located on two different servers. The items highlighted in yellow are the differences between these root folders, and we'll see how each rule affects those files. In a mirror rule, any file that is different is copied to the destination. If a file is missing on the source, in this case the server A files, it will be deleted from the destination. In the diagram, the items highlighted in green have been copied to a destination. The items highlighted in red have been deleted from a destination. A multi-mirror rule is a multi-way relationship between folders. It's going to try and make all of the folders identical regardless of where the changes occur. So this means that you can add, replace, or delete files on any of the root folders, and that change will be automatically reflected to the other folders. A crucial aspect of using a multi-mirror rule is determining where the latest changes occurred. If you're using a change journal, that will help determine that location. If you're not using a change journal, we have to rely on the modification dates for a file. If files have been changed in multiple locations, then the system has an option for using the latest modification date to determine the change, or you can have it raise an error so that you can manually determine the proper source for a file copy. Let's look at our original set of root folders to see what actions would be taken for a multi-mirror. Here I've marked what I would identify as the source locations for the actions. Some of the source locations were chosen by modification date, others by changes in the change journal. As you can see, files are copied from the source location that was identified to the destination. In the case where the source location no longer exists, the files on the destination are deleted. An exchanging copies rule is identical to the multi-mirror, except that files are never deleted. If you use this rule, you'll need to manually delete files from each of the paths when they become obsolete. If we look at the results on our example, you'll see that it's identical to the multi-mirror, except that the files on the destination, the folder 4 section, has not been deleted. A recent master copy rule will add or replace files on a destination when the source file has a more recent modification date than on the destination. It will not delete any files. Let's look at our original set of files, and let's assume that server A will be the source in this one-way rule. If we look at the results, we can see the three groups that were copied, but also of note is the fact that the file 103 was not copied because it's more recent on the destination. Also, the files that are on the destination but not on the source are not deleted either. A differing master copy rule is similar to the recent master, except that it doesn't look at the modification dates. The source will always copy the files to the destination, but it will not delete any files. The result in this example is the same as the recent master copy, except that this time file 103 replaces the destination file, even though it's an earlier date. There are other rules you can use in synchronizing your files. The move rule will move from a source to a destination, and once the copy is complete, it will remove and delete the file from the source location. A forced master copy will always copy a file even if there's an exact match already there. This is generally only helpful when doing testing and performance measurements. A delete rule will delete files on the destination, and a skip rule will simply skip processing that file.